I'm Captain Mike. Have you ever looked around your shop and wondered what you could do with all the scrap glass that you have? I know I do all the time. I'm trying to come up with ideas. This is not fully my idea. I saw somebody do something similar to this using, I call it a ripple mold. I don't really know what it's called. Tried to find it online to see what it costs to purchase it, and although I've seen them before, I couldn't find it. So, you know, what I did is decided to make one, and by ripple, you know what I mean. It's all kind of whoop-de-doo. And to do this, you've got to have a ceramic mold that looks something like this. Now, I just made this one, and I'm fixing to show you, how I made it and the variations on this theme, and you guys can just kind of decide for yourself what you want to do. Now, what you're going to have to do to make this the way I make it, okay? I'm sure there are better ways, but the way I made it is I went and found me some PVC pipe. It doesn't matter what kind of PVC pipe you got. Use whatever. This is just some old scrap that I had laying around, and I took it and decided what length I wanted this to be, and I went on my chop saw. You can do it by hand if you want to, but I chopped all of them off exactly the same size. At the time they were, all of them like this, okay? And then I decided what did I want to, what kind of a board did I want to glue them on. This one just happens to be a piece of mirror that I had laying around. You could use a piece of glass, you could use a piece of wood, you could use a piece of corian, as I did on the example I'm fixing to show you, and you glue them up. So here's how I did that. In this case, I took corian, and I went on my table saw. Now, you could do this with a hand saw. I would not try it with a skill saw unless you are very, very good, but it could be done. But I went and just put these on my table saw, adjusted it so that it cut dead center, and I had these. Next thing I did is decided how long I wanted my mold to be. Take into consideration what will fit in your kiln. This one almost didn't fit in my little 120 glass kiln. I could have fixed it where it would have, but I did not take that into consideration. But you do that. You may not want one this big. What I did was took my base, whatever I wanted from my base. Okay. Then I took some E6000. And I just run it along the cut edge, and I fastened them all down, bumped right up against each other. Now, you might want to space it out even on both ends, or you might want it to come out just like that. Let's back her up just a tad. You might want it to come out just like that, or you might want to leave it so that you have a flat place, so that when your glass falls and melts, you'll have a kind of a flat looking place like that. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If you could, you might as well make it as long as you want it and leave a flat place on each end just for grins and giggles, because your clay is going to determine how big your mold is. Once this is set up, all the glue is set up, doesn't take very long. I give it 24 hours just for grins and giggles, but you could probably do it in one day. Then you'll have something that looks like this. Okay? And then you're ready to mold. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll out a piece of clay. I use high-fire clay. It's all the clay body that I have, except for some low-fire slip, which won't work in this case. But roll you out a piece, and this was about 3/8 of an inch. You can roll it out whatever you want to, and you know the length appropriate to whatever size mold you want to build. Once you get your clay rolled out, it'll still be floppity. Be real careful, bring it over to your mold. You don't have to grease this or anything. Just bring it over to your mold and lay it on it where you want it to be. Now it's going to be laying kind of flat, and it's going to kind of want to droop, and that's okay, because what you're going to do is you're going to decide how far down you want this thing to be here. And that can be determined by using another piece like this. That'll give you one curvature. You can use another piece a little smaller, and that'll give you another curvature. Or you could even go to something, you know, really small and really dig it down. Just make sure that your piece is bigger than your clay. And then what you do is you just take it and you just roll it very slowly. Don't put a lot of pressure. Just let the clay shrink on its own and go all the way back and forth, just like this, a couple of times until the clay is laying completely flat. Well, I mean, you know, until it fits the contour of your mold. When you get that, leave it. And it will begin to dry. In this case, this one dried kind of warpity, and I think really it didn't dry warpity. I think it kind of warped in my kiln when I had something laying on it, or it was laying on something, I don't know. But do this until it turns leather hard, and you can take it off and place it somewhere. Then you can double check it to make sure that it's level, and you can wait until it dries. Bisque fire this to 04, and you're ready to go. The next thing you'll want to do after you're through bisque firing it and you're ready to mold some glass with it, then you can go ahead and treat it with whatever kind of glass separator that you want. There's several different types. I'll leave that up to you. Then when you get ready to make something, you're going to have to use your own imagination. I use all these scraps right here that I have tons and tons of. A lot of them are end pieces, you know, where they have this right here where you cut it off of a larger piece. So you just come in here and use your imagination. Most of these end pieces have a straight side and an ugly side, and you can just put the straight sides right up against each other. Then you could make it, you know, 2 wide like these, or you could make it 3 wide. You could make the whole thing if you wanted to, just like that. Same color glass, different color glass. You have to use your imagination. You can put some pieces in here like this. You know, you can spread it out so that it's kind of a lattice-like if you wanted to. You know, the variations on this are absolutely endless. You know, you can do this. You can take, when you're through with that, depending on whether you want a big piece or just a couple of pieces, get you all your scrap Dicro. I throw no Dicro away. I take all my little pieces of Dicro, and let's just say we're going to use these 2 right here, and I'll take them and well, let's go ahead and use this one because it'll lay flatter. So we're going to use these 2 pieces of green, and then I take my Dicro and I just kind of drop it around, you know, kind of like that, you know, or just place it however you want to place it. Put it in the kiln and fire it to a deep slump. Now that's what I did. I do a deep slump because it gives you a lot of different effects. A lot of the Dicro goes completely flat, some of it does not. You could also do a tack fire if you wanted to. I think tack fire is hot enough that it's going to go down into the contour. But with the deep slump, it begins to open up little cracks and crevices in places, as you can see. So this is where you will experiment to determine what you want to do. And of course it works with float glass, COE 90, 96, whatever. Just don't mix them. Just don't mix them. But it's a great thing to do with float glass because you could cut you a piece to go here, and then you could just decorate it with crushed up bottles and see what kind of a pattern you get. And pretty much that's it. That's all you have to do to make the mold. And I mean, to make what to make your mold with, the master for your mold. Then you'll make that, and then you can just make these all day long. And I think they're cool. Just something else to do with scrap glass. So that's my video on how to make this kind of mold. If you have any questions, if I went through it too quick and I forgot something or didn't mention something critical, let me know, and I'll address that. And heavy glass fusing. Go at it, have fun, do something really interesting. Appreciate y'all watching this video. I'm Captain Mike, and I'm out of here.